An assessment of Nigeria's digital economy suggests that regardless the sector or occupation, new work formats will offer individuals and entrepreneurs new opportunities, adding that by 2025, this could result in over 1.9 million jobs and about $20 billion additional GDP in Nigeria. It is expected that the tech sector continues to grow by over 20% annually, creating immense opportunities for innovation and entrepreneurship. And one would ask, how feasible are these projections in the light of recent realities? Today we will explore how Nigerians, especially the younger generations, can harness the digital revolution through entrepreneurship education and effective revenue tax management. Our discussion will feature expert insights on navigating the business landscape, building successful startups, and managing finances smartly. At this juncture, I'd like to invite you and welcome you all to the Beam, where curiosity meets conversations, taking us a step further into the future we desire. I'm Sunes Nathaniel, and before we proceed, we will be having a spotlight in which we report that 142 Nigerians have recently been offered fully funded scholarships for postgraduate studies abroad. And when we return, we'll be taking a deep dive into the Nigerian entrepreneurship process and how we can excel in this climate of dynamic change. In a bid to bolster international educational opportunities for students, the Erasmus Plus fully funded scholarship has been awarded to 142 Nigerians to pursue master's and PhD degrees across various European countries. A pre-departure orientation exercise in Abuja avails the scholarship recipients an opportunity to interact, share brief insights into their journeys, and engage with representatives of EU member states to address any issues related to their travel documents.
I had physical evidence of everything that I wrote in my SOP. For instance, if I wrote that I had training in so and so, I always presented a certificate for what I wrote there. So always endeavor to upload physical evidence of what you have done. If you say you have organized a conference or a training for people, try your best to show pictures of what you have done so far. Also, I had mentors, both my professor and also some scholars also put me through when I was also applying.
I needed to step up with using more sustainable chemicals, and so I came across a program called Chemical Innovation and Regulation that basically entails the synthesis and production of environmental friendly chemicals instead of those that could affect the environment. And then I put up an application to the program and I was accepted.
Speaking on the success of the program, EU's ambassador to Nigeria and ECOWAS, Ms. Samuela Isopi, says the Cornerstone Initiative shows the EU's commitment to education and international cooperation.
Nigeria is the top country in Africa with the highest number of awardees this year, and is one of the top 5 in the world, together with countries like India, Pakistan, Bangladesh. So this once again shows that Nigeria is a country with great talent, with a youth that is full of talent, and we are very proud as European Union that we can contribute not only to further develop that skills, but to contribute through that to the development of Nigeria itself.
Despite the myriad challenges facing Nigeria's education sector, programs of this nature offer a beacon of hope, and as these bright minds prepare to embark on their studies, they carry with them the potential to transform Nigeria's future, even as they are urged to ensure they return after their programs are done.
Your Excellency, I hope you don't lose.
Welcome back. Our guest today is Professor Muritala Awodun, a business economist, entrepreneurship education specialist, and highly revered organizational management expert who serves as a member of the Presidential Committee on Fiscal Policy and Tax Reforms. Professor Awodun, you're welcome to the program.
Thank you very much. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Let's get right into it. We are looking at a climate that's several people will tell you is very uncertain, especially for business. And we were talking off camera and I said, hey, how is it even possible for a business to really thrive in Nigeria today?
If you look at the Nigerian landscape and you look at our experiences over decades, you will see that there's this tenacity about surviving under very harsh conditions. And I think that has become the basis of survival of either the individuals, the families, or even the businesses that we have in Nigeria. Let me break it down a bit. And as an individual, you probably have not had a salary raise since the increase in fuel price and the inflation and the exchange rate problem that we had that has brought your income down significantly. But the question is, how have you been surviving? You have adjusted your needs. Some things that ordinarily you could afford before, but are not essential, you have dropped them from your list and you reprioritize. So that's the simple basis of your survival. If before now you probably can afford to buy 2 pairs of suits, in a year out of your income, because of the fact that the real value of your income cannot do that again, you take it off your list and give priorities to those things that will still keep you going. And what are those things that keeps us going? Ordinarily and conventionally, we think is food, shelter and clothing.
Yeah.
But in the real sense, that is not it. The first priority on the table of almost every Nigerian is communication. Ability to pick up your phone and send a text message to somebody or call somebody for help comes over and above even food. Because somebody who does not even have 1,000 naira to buy food, you see that person still able to buy credit to his phone to be able to seek for help. So you see that communication has taken priority even over food, because you can't, for those who cannot even afford to eat, they will rather prefer to be able to communicate to people, reach out to people who can give them money to be able to eat. So our ability to survive is hanging on the fact that we are easily amenable to adjusting our priorities. And it's the same thing when it comes to the businesses. You see the businessman or the businesswoman, a woman frying akara by the roadside, who has gone to the market to buy flour, buy groundnut oil, buy charcoal and the rest, and the prices of those things have gone up. By the time she comes back to, her spot and finish frying those items, nobody tells her to jack up the price, because if she doesn't do that, she knows that she will not be able to go to the market to continue in that business. So her ability to survive is based on the fact that the realities of the time, she has to adjust to it. So if she has to continue in that business, she adjusts without anybody telling her what to do. So that's it. Everybody is a survivalist in Nigeria.
All right. So now let's come to some of those things that might affect, entrepreneurs, especially the younger ones, when it comes to trying to survive, right, in this climate like we've defined. That one of those things is going to be tax, right? And let's ask ourselves, do we have an existing system that is equitable and, for the different groups? And, how does it really affect, the sustainability of this business over time right now, looking at what we have on ground? I mean, that's your forte because you understand the whole tax reforms and all that.
Well, if we look at what we have presently, or what is operating presently, we won't be able to say that we are making the best of it, or we are equitable in terms of our taxing system. What do I mean by that? So many people that are at the lower echelon of the society, they hardly can avoid or run away from what we call taxes and levies. If you use the businesses as example, the small, micro, medium businesses, they pay all sorts of levies and taxes because somebody who, like I said, is just by the roadside, a councilman will come and say you have to pay so and so, because doesn't want that business to be disrupted. We, whether rightly or wrongly, pay that levy so that it can survive for the day and be able to, carry out his daily activity. But for those who are high up there, they can easily avoid paying taxes. Why? Because the system is not as efficient as it should be. They can run away from paying taxes on several things because the system is not as efficient. They have the capacity, to bribe their way through. They have the capacity to hire people who will actually help them walk through it and, bring down the value of what they are supposed to pay as against the real thing. So the people below the ladder are not able to run away from most of those things. And that is the reason why I feel that, look, our attention on taxes should move away from those people who are struggling and concentrate on those people who are actually the first 10% or 20% of the Nigerian economy.
Okay, so let me ask, it's good you brought it up. How much of the Nigerian economic problem can be tied to tax evasion?
Well, not much. I would say not much in the sense that the system that allow people to evade taxes is in the hands of those who are evading the taxes. You take a typical elite, and that elite has sources of income, assets, multiple sources of income, assets, and all of that ordinarily, are susceptible to payment of one form of tax or the other. But because of the inefficiency in the system is unable to capture all that person owns and slam, a figure on that particular individual. So the person, without making much effort, will not pay what is due. What do I mean? The system is not integrating my ownership of properties, right, with my ownership of cars, with my bank accounts, all those assets that I own. There's nothing bringing them together to be able to press a button and say, Muritala Awodun, and all of those things we show for tax purpose. And that's why technology, data integration has to come in because the impact of that is going to be very significant on the top 10, top 20 people than even the people at the lower echelon.
Okay, so in just 2 minutes, I think I want you to begin this process. Interest rates are soaring, inflation is so bad. How really can the young Nigerian entrepreneur, especially within the tech and digital space, how really can they survive in doing business here? How?
Well, despite the challenges of inflation and exchange rate, the opportunities that we have in this country are enormous. And for any serious business person, it is the opportunities that you pay attention to more than those challenges. Because even inherent in those challenges are opportunities.
All
right? So the opportunities in our environment are the strong or determining factor that keeps businesses going. Where you are complaining about inflation or you are complaining about exchange rate, other people are adjusting accordingly, and then they are making or having their way. Having their way in the sense that for as long as there is demand, for your product, you probably won't say because the prices are going up, you stop selling or you stop producing. The challenge there is the prices are running out of the reach of so many people. But at the same time, they are falling into the reach of some other people. I'll give you an example. The Hajj operation that just finished, the cost of going to Hajj was as much as 7, 8, 9 million naira per person. When it was just 1.7 million naira, some people couldn't afford to go. But at 7, 8, 9 million naira, some people, still went for the Hajj, either because they have the source of income, which they did not have before, based on new opportunities, or they get somebody to sponsor them based on the fact that that person that is sponsoring them based on religious basis also has been able to explore new opportunities to be able to afford to sponsor them. Or government, which is another area that I would not want to go into. Government, for whatever reason, for patronage, decided to sponsor them. So you look at it that, look, this is business for some people, right? And when it was less than 20% of the current price, you know, some people could not even afford it.
All right.
But at this price now...
We're going to hold it there because we need to get into how those opportunities, I think that is where the education for entrepreneurs will come in.
I agree with you.
All right. We'll be going on a break at this time, and when we return, we'll be asking Professor Muritala Awodun to give us, you know, practical tips, more examples as to how the youth, the young people, and every other person who's trying to make business work here in Nigeria can do that under the climate that we have, especially in this tech era. Don't go away. We'll be right back. All right, welcome back. You're still watching The Beam, coming to you live from our studios in Abuja. Professor Muritala Awodun is still here with me, and we're still looking at the digital gold and how young Nigerians can excel doing business in the tech era. Thank you for staying with us, sir. Let's go into continuing in where we stopped. Okay. Looking at, I'm very careful because of the young people. It's the young people that they either have the option to stay here and build businesses or run away and leave. And so we're asking ourselves, for instance, what are some of the mistakes that the young, you know, entrepreneurs might be making in the face of the challenges we see today?
The mistake that people can really make or are making is to be waiting for them to be spoon-fed rather than, you know, run with the opportunities, like I said. There are opportunities all around us, but because of some faulty foundations in terms of education and our expectation, we hardly can see those opportunities. And I point this out in most of my entrepreneurship classes, that look, for every problem around you is an opportunity for you to make money. And if you look very deep into those problems, you will create, or you'll be able to create a solution, solve that problem, and therein you will make money. I'll give you an example. Waste management is a problem in every part of Nigeria. And whether in the cities or in the rural areas, there are waste. Those waste, solutions to waste management is an opportunity to make money. Even collecting waste is an opportunity to make money. But the point is, the kind of education that we are giving to our young ones, is it opening their eyes to those opportunities or directing their mental thoughts towards the fact that it has to be white-collar jobs? That's where the problem is. And that's why I said, you know, the foundation is the issue. Because rather than make them see that, look, in these problems, there are opportunities for you to solve the problem, create an enterprise, and then you make money. And I have examples, you know, of hundreds of thousands of students that have gone through me, that, you know, or through the system under which I had the opportunity of entrepreneurship education, that we have changed their orientation completely from wanting to finish from school and be waiting for somebody to employ them. Because right there from school, you have opened their eyes to, you know, venturing into one thing or the other in terms of providing solutions to problems and then being able to survive on it. Because for those who run away, apart from the fact that, okay, the environment is not conducive, that all of us are complaining about, but the conduciveness of the environment or the inconduciveness of the environment is also an opportunity. Who will make it conducive? If everybody runs away, who is going to make the environment conducive? And then where you are running to, that's the irony of it. The same thing you refuse to do here is what you get, you know, immediately you land there. You get there and then you think you get a white-collar job. No, you get a cleaning job. But here you refuse to do cleaning. You get a welfare job. Here you refuse to see welfare as an opportunity for you to make money. So you get some messy jobs that, you know, will probably make you earn some pounds or some dollars with which you survive. and then whether you like it or not, you have to do it.
But they would argue that, you know, the system over there allows it to thrive. That would be the argument.
That's what I'm saying, that apart from the system not allowing you to thrive, right? That things are not working. There's no light. Those are problems, right? Those problems on their own are opportunities. You may not be in a position, you know, to tap into that opportunity because of the capital layout that is required. But there's a chain of it, you know. I'll give you an example. The fact that, okay, there's no electricity provides an opportunity. And you have maybe hundreds of barbers in a particular area. And those barbers, they have small generator that they use in providing electricity, and they run on petrol, you know. And if you calculate the amount of money they spend on petrol every day, if you provide a solar panel solution to them, customized to them, maybe at a cost of 700,000, 800,000 naira, and you charge them half of what they spend on petrol regularly, right? You will have solved their problem, because it's a problem for them, but they are paying less, and you know, the environment is better for it, and they are also better for it. So we are not. These are some of the solutions that some people have come up with, you know, at their local environment, based on the fact that we say, look into this problem and provide a solution. So the bottom line is, we can't run away from our system, because like the Yorubas will say, you go, you come back, whether you like it or not, and it's the way you have left it that you meet it, or even worse. So the more people that are ready to stay behind, you know, to try to weather the storm and solve the problem, the better for the society.
Wow, that's a very big thought, because some will say, see, this society is choking us, and it's almost impossible for us to say.
I agree with you. As choking as the society is, right, people are still surviving. And then why shouldn't I be one of those that will survive? Why should I be one of those that will run away? Why shouldn't I be one of those that will provide solution? Why should I be one of those that will be complaining about the problem? So where do you want to place yourself? You want to go to a system that is already made, that you don't know how it is made? And we have that kind of problem. You find a lot of, let me use this example. You find a lot of our Nigerians go abroad. Let me use the academia. They go into the academic system. They are offered jobs in the university there. They lecture. Everything works, right? Yeah. Somebody is in charge of your classroom, so you don't need to bother about, you know, whether the classroom is going to be neat or not. Somebody is managing those resources. You just go in there, you teach, and then you go, you mark your script and submit. The system is working. They work in that system for 10, 20, 30 years, right? They don't know how the system works, because they are just a resource that has been plugged into
an already working system.
When they come back and you give them the opportunity to come and manage, you know, let's say a university here, they fail totally. Because based on the fact that, they have been in a system that is working, but they don't know how the system works. They only play a micro role without paying attention to the entire gamut of how the system works. And then bringing them in to come and fit into a system, or to come and change a system, they fail. Because for you to change a system, you must understand it. You must also create a solution that matches the problem. Not for you to bring, you know, an imported solution and think it's going to work, you know, in an environment that is not conducive for it. So automatically they fail. So whatever solution we are looking for has to be homegrown, because the problems are local to us, and then the solutions also have to be local.
All right. I'm tempted to ask you one more question, but I'm going to say in just 1 minute, what would be your advice for the emerging entrepreneur right now in Nigeria? What would be that advice?
Well, my advice to the emerging entrepreneur in Nigeria is that Nigeria is a great country. Nigeria is a country full of opportunities, and they will survive faster and better in Nigeria because of the opportunities in Nigeria if they look deeper into the problems of Nigeria and provide solutions to those problems.
All right. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Thank you. Friends, that's where we're going to draw the curtains on this episode of The Beam. As always, we urge you to share your thoughts via social media using this hashtag Channels Beam and Channels TV News. Right now, we're going to be leaving you, but I know I can't go without that little reminder that, hey, there is great opportunity, like has been said, and often in this season of doubts and this climate of fear, you can still make profit. You don't need to all go. We can stay and build this nation. Bye for now.